From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode, we talk to a leader at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce about the impact of AI on small business.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Welcome back to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. We have tried, since we started this show, to keep a tabs on artificial intelligence and its growing role in small business. That has changed even in recent months. And perhaps nobody really understands how it's being integrated into small business more than the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which has unveiled a comprehensive nationwide survey about all of this. And Jordan Crenshaw is the person who joins us today to talk more about it. Certainly knows this as the Senior Vice President of the Chamber's Technology Engagement Center. Jordan, thanks for being with us today. Broadly, before we get into specifics about this, how do you see small businesses utilizing AI technology at this point?
Well, Scott, AI is a force multiplier, and it's enabling small businesses, as you know, who typically don't have the same resources as larger companies to compete. And one of the things that we found very interesting is that nearly all small businesses are using a tool that's powered by AI, whether it's accounting software like QuickBooks or payment software. But the news has really been more lately about generative AI, and 40% of small businesses nationwide are using this cutting edge form of AI to market products, create images for advertising, or interacting with their customers.
You mentioned that number, nearly half. Let's dive a little bit more into what you all found with this new report. What's the impact of technology on small businesses more specifically?
Well, our Empowering Small Business report found that 98% of small businesses are using an AI-enabled tool. But there's also real on-the-ground benefits that we're seeing nationwide as well. If you look at small businesses that are embracing AI, they saw 90% of them saw an increase in sales from last year. If you compare that to small businesses that weren't using AI, they're in about the 70% range in terms of seeing increased sales over year. That number also is similar when it comes to hiring. 80% of small businesses using AI hired more workers compared to in the 60s when it comes to small businesses that weren't using AI in terms of hiring. So we're seeing tangible benefits now, and we're just scratching the surface, really, with the benefits that we're going to see in the future.
It's interesting. We've talked in recent months about sort of like the passive use of AI you may use through Google and things like that. You may not even realize that AI is already part of your business. Then there's the one that you actively decide to do. So how have you found that the adoption of technology can enable small businesses to be successful?
Well, nearly 90% of small businesses that are using AI now are optimistic it will help them grow. And that same number has said it helps them enjoy running their business. And I'll provide you an example. A coffee shop owner I spoke to, he is running a coffee shop by himself. It's family generation owned. He really needs to focus his time on making good coffee for his community and developing community relationships, and not doing a lot of the back end work that could deprive him of the time and resources he needs to focus on the core business. And what he told me was that he is using things like Shopify to figure out which terms really connect with consumers online. He's using those terms and plugging them into a generative AI chatbot, and is then able to customize his message based on who he's trying to reach, the tone he's trying to get across, so that he can cut down his advertising time by about 70%. So, he's in the front end of his shop and not in the back end, really doing the business and really engaging with customers.
You know, and anytime we talk about a developing technology, AI in this case, but you can go back to the start of the Industrial Revolution, there is inevitably a fear of regulation, what that might be. What's the current state of that conversation? And can you tell us why it seems that many small businesses are worried about it?
Well, 86% of small business owners say they believe technology regulations will harm their ability to grow. And many of the proposals, like we've seen in places like Colorado, which just passed the nation's first comprehensive AI law, are already leaving small businesses confused whether or not they're going to comply. So, say, you're an indie who has a small business owner and you have a customer in Denver. Does that mean that your small business is going to have to follow Colorado law? And there's a big concern there, especially as small businesses don't have the compliance shops or the team of lawyers that larger companies have, that this is going to harm their ability to compete. Only 1/3 of small businesses are well prepared for coming regulations, which puts them at a disadvantage. And I had a great conversation with Senator Young in Indianapolis a few weeks ago at an event we did with the Indiana Chamber. And he talked about the need for laws that are used now, laws we already have on the books now, to be used when we can, and not trying to reinvent the wheel when it comes to AI, so that we have some certainty for small businesses and other companies. So that's why it's so important that policymakers in DC and in Indianapolis should avoid passing one-size-fits-all laws that harm small businesses disproportionately and deprives them of valuable AI tools.
Clearly, you come to this from a perspective, and when you do have the ear of lawmakers, Senator Todd Young, as you mentioned, and others, do you get the sense that they understand the import of this question? Do they have strong feelings already, or do you feel like they're malleable, they could be shaped on this issue?
Well, one of the things I think is really important to note, and we've seen this with small business owners as well as general customers throughout the economy, is the more they know about AI, the less they either fear it or they also begin to see more of its benefits. And AI is a huge issue for policymakers right now. And it's really been our job in terms of the business community to show policymakers the benefits. And, they are seeing increased benefits of this technology. And we really want to make policymakers aware that this is not a technology to fear, it's one to embrace. And we can mitigate risks for AI at the same time while reaping its benefits.
If I know one thing about chambers of commerce, it's that they definitely have resources beyond just the initial conversation. Yours is the biggest. Where can people turn if they want more information, if they want to feel like they've got an advocate in all of this?
If you want to learn more, you can visit us at uschamber.com/technology.
All right, Jordan Crenshaw, thank you very much for the perspective. Again, he is the Vice President of the Commerce Technology Engagement Center with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. We'll see you down the road on this issue of AI. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.